Sarah and Tom, Part 5.
I didn't want this to happen, I swear, Sarah continued, the words coming in a rushed blur, like she was trying to convince herself as much as him. But Tom, I've been confused for so long. The truth is, I'm not who I thought I was. Her voice dropped to a whisper as she met his eyes. I'm gay, Tom. I've always been, and I never acknowledged it until now. Tom stood there, frozen. His mind scrambled to make sense of her words. His wife, the mother of his child. His whole life, unraveled in a moment. What? Tom's voice was barely above a whisper, a quiet plea for her to take it back, for this to not be real. I'm sorry, Sarah said, her face almost unreadable. I didn't know how to tell you, but everything changed. I had to face the truth about who I really am, and the marriage, it just wasn't enough for me anymore. There was a part of her that felt a strange relief in saying the words, but it was fleeting. The guilt, the shame, it didn't come. Instead, she felt a quiet justification, as if the weight of the world had been lifted off her shoulders. She blamed the chaos, the pressure, the years of not being true to herself for everything that had happened. It wasn't her fault. She hadn't been herself. That was the real problem. Tom's face crumpled, his disbelief turning into hurt. So, everything, the marriage, our life together, it meant nothing. It wasn't that it meant nothing, Sarah said, her voice cool, detached. I couldn't keep pretending. Not anymore. Tom took a step back, his mind spinning, the ground beneath him shifting. He was trying to grasp some shred of clarity, but it was slipping away with every word Sarah spoke. The affair, her new identity, all of it. Suddenly, it all seemed like a web of lies spun over years of unspoken truth. I'm leaving, Tom, Sarah said, her voice now steady, almost triumphant. I've made up my mind. I can't stay here, not with you, not in this life. Wait, what? Tom's voice broke, his chest tight with panic. You're leaving me? Just like that? Sarah nodded. I have to. I need to find myself, and I can't do that here with you, pretending to be someone I'm not. I'll take the baby with me. I'll make sure she's raised in an environment where I can finally be true to who I am. The word stung like a slap. Tom staggered back, his heart torn between disbelief and fury. She was leaving him, taking their child, and somehow she was spinning it all as if she were the one who'd been wronged. The victim. Sarah's expression softened, but only for a moment, as if trying to manufacture some semblance of empathy. I'm sorry, Tom, she said, but you have to understand. This is who I am now. She turned toward the door, walking with slow, deliberate steps, as if this was the culmination of a journey she had been planning for far longer than he'd ever known. The finality of her movement crushed him. The door closed behind her with a quiet click, leaving Tom standing alone in their home, feeling as if the floor had been ripped out from under him. The last image he had of her was of Sarah walking away, their child in her arms, her back turned toward him as she disappeared into the world beyond. The final scene lingered on Tom's face, an ocean of confusion, heartbreak, and betrayal. His fists clenched at his sides, his breath shallow as he processed the weight of the truth that had been thrust upon him. Outside, Sarah stood tall, looking back only once, a faint smirk playing at the edges of her lips. She walked away, leaving behind the remnants of a life she had so carefully constructed, now shattered and abandoned.